What's up, guys? We are back with another XRP update. Just a quick video. We're going to go through some recent news, talk about the potential relistings of some exchanges. I know many of us are hoping or potentially even expecting that Coinbase and even Binance US could potentially relist XRP in the months ahead. It would absolutely be nice. And we'll kind of speculate on, would we get pre-pumps, post-pumps, or would the market actually just do the exact opposite and dump? I want to explore all sides, and we're going to go through this, and then I'll try to save my ranting for the end of this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you guys have seen this morning's video, you already know that Coinbase essentially could already relist XRP today. There's nothing stopping them. So the question is, will they? Why aren't they now, and what will happen in the future? So, shared by XRP Crypto Wolf, just retweeting a whale alert. Obviously, this massive transaction caught many eyes. So 30 million XRP have been transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance.us. So again, remember, Binance US is a separate entity from Binance. It is the regulated version, essentially, of Binance here in the US. And I believe there's a good amount of states already on board. I do utilize them from time to time. So I highly recommend at least creating an account and having on-ramps on different exchanges. So this is 17 million US dollars that has been transferred. Could this just be some massive OTC transaction like many people are speculating? Very possible. I'd like to look more into this, and I kind of want to see what happens and comes of this tomorrow. So keep in mind, you guys can actually see all of this as well. Whale alert just leaving this information. So fingers crossed. I hope that XRP will be relisted so we can start getting that liquidity again and that high volume on a variety of exchanges, and those liquidity providers can start turning up yet again. All right. So kind of went through that on BitHump, and let's get into the next piece. So right here, guys, notice unstoppable domains for all that are familiar. Of course, mine is kevincage.crypto, just my essentially an email address for money. I have a few cryptos tied to it like VeChain, XRP, Bitcoin, Ether, and I think I still have to pay some gas fees and probably onboard a few other assets. But notice, these are actually live as of this afternoon. So just a few hours ago, we can see movies.crypto, cannabis.crypto, restaurants.crypto, and more. So very interesting. Of course, we remember that, what was it, hotels.crypto recently sold for one of the largest sales ever of $100,000 worth. Now, this is not only, an email address for money, in quotes, as I said, it's also a decentralized hack-proof website. So highly recommend that. Links are in the video description, or you can just follow any of my pinned tweets that have all the services I use on Twitter. All right, next, Filecoin, guys. I want to talk about Filecoin because, of course, Greg Kidd, who holds 1% of all XRP in existence, is backing this. And of course, he was, a Federal Reserve Board advisor. Essentially, early on, one of the first employees for Ripple, I believe, why am I having a brain fart? I believe in terms of compliance. I'll have to go check his LinkedIn once again, even though we check it like every several weeks. And we can see, we're excited to announce that LivePeer.org and their native crypto asset is LPT that recently pumped from $4 to over like $28. I think it's around $20 to $25 currently. And they're launching a co-mining pilot with Filecoin. Now, Filecoin, I think it's a reliable asset. It might not be one that pumps faster than any others, but this is one of my long-term holds that's a really small bag, conservative, set and forget, because I think it's here to stay, mainly because of the connections to, the Winklevoss and, of course, some institutional interest from people like Grayscale. So I pay attention to that, similarly to like Zcash. Of course, there's other microcaps that I tackle, but these are the ones that I'm at least more comfortable talking about on YouTube. Now, Filecoin actually had one of the highest funded ICOs in history as well. So it's been around for several years, and it's very, very interesting, potentially holding storage, competing with, what is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Storage and maybe CSI. I look into those projects, but Filecoin just looks a little different to me. I may not be right, but I prefer this one compared to those assets. And I also do like the chart, at least on the weekly and monthly timeframes, despite the lack of data. So LivePeer video miners while continuing to mine on the Filecoin network. So let me just show you the actual release right here. And so they're just announcing that LivePeer is launching a co-mining pilot with Filecoin to enable Filecoin miners to become LivePeer video miners while continuing to mine on the Filecoin network by storing transcoded video data. Very interesting. And yet again, you guys can follow them over here at LivePeer. Any crypto assets you're interested in, you have to follow them and turn on post notifications. So an example, of course, if you guys want to keep up to date with all of them, because I think Twitter, as silly as it is, people make fun of using Twitter for research. They don't really realize all the mainstream news articles follow Twitter. Social media is taking over the world. So the kids get it. The younger people, they understand that social media is everything. I mean, you're already on, ESPN or anything, and they're quoting athletes and celebrities' tweets. It's very comical. So right here, I always have, people that I pay attention to in the space, such as the CEO of SBI Ripple Asia, Adam Trademan. So I have post notifications on, just waiting. I do that with a lot of crypto assets that I hold, so I can get notified in real time. So always watching. I know SBI Ripple Asia has been extremely quiet, so I am waiting for, obviously, some good news and announcements. We've heard plans and plans and plans about potentially SBI and SBI Ripple finally launching XRP. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So right here, guys, I'm going to be screaming it from the rooftops. I almost said roof. Roth Economy, guys, definite follow. We're just going to speed through this thread. I did, in fact, retweet it. Please follow him right here. So, watching Line Bank of Taiwan go online, a digital-only bank, and now they have the Line app, which predates the new bank, is connected to Ripple user MoneyTap. Now, of course, we're familiar with MoneyTap. You've seen the documents. We've seen even this 2020 report with MoneyTap talking about even Ripple involvement. So, no surprise, SBI is a major shareholder of Ripple and R3. So, to imagine them working together, at least some way in the future, I don't think that's, out of the realm of possibility. Well, the digital banks use MoneyTap or SBI Remit for remittances. Very possible given their tie-ups, and I completely agree. So we have some context here. We can kind of click this thread, and where is it? So right here, we can see SBI Annual Report 2020 confirms MoneyTap, LinePay, PayPay all have a tie-in, and then they explicitly mention Ripple right here, as you can see, with Ripple Labs, a partner company. Part of their effort to use QR codes with merchants to help push Japan to a cashless society. Now, Japan, of course, one of the very few and already forward-thinking countries. They're way ahead in terms of technological adoption. No surprise. Same thing with Singapore. And yes, when the U.S. talks about cashless society, I think we have a long way to go. Well, eventually we'll go less cash, but Japan, we've already heard their plans to go completely digital, at least in the years ahead, so I'm paying very close attention to them specifically. It would not surprise me one bit. Now, we've talked about QR codes, we've talked about NFC, near-field communication, we've talked about RFID chips, all of that, and they're being integrated with payments, and this is the same thing that the military is working on as well. And remember, what was it, maybe a month or two ago, we were talking, I think it was just a CoinDesk article, talking about merchants in blockchain even reducing the cost for merchants at, payment gateways, because it's highly, highly inefficient. So when you can save 1% or 2% per customer, and you're doing thousands of sales per day, you best believe that can save them, some players, millions of dollars per year. And what do you do with that money? Well, now you have some capital efficiency. You can put that money to reinvest and create new revenue streams. So this could create this Cambrian explosion, as Chris Larson often says, in terms of the internet of value. All right? Really quick, right here, cites a deepened connection to Ripple and R3. Boom, in light of the C word. So very interesting, of course. This has been said by even, Mr. Katao, and it's not coming from my idiot self. It's coming from people that are leading some of the biggest organizations in the world. So you can take it with a grain of salt, but this is just something to consider in the years ahead. All right. Let me see if there's anything else over here. Then right here, context with pictures, as SBI's annual report showed, MoneyTap now connects with LinePay, PayPay, and we've already shown that. Now, XRP isn't really in play unless this crypto can be sent peer-to-peer at some point. Now, notice, yes, there's some domestic applications, but if you've actually seen David Schwartz's commentary on Twitter, even in interviews, yes, XRP can have a domestic use case, but ideally, we're focused on the illiquid corridors and cross-border transfers, but there's still benefits of domestic use, such as 24/7 access. You talk about the counterparty risk issue. Like, the funny thing is, XRP does and can benefit the domestic use case as well. But keep in mind, let's focus on the most illiquid and where there's inefficiencies today: cross-border international transactions. All right, so something to keep an eye on, guys. So SBI's annual showed, yep, I'm just talking about PayPay. We'll click this picture so you guys can see it right here. So MoneyTap, I haven't really kept up with this as much, so I'm sure everybody in the XRP community that's really focused on Japan, I'm sure that there's great researchers there. I'm sure they found a lot of stuff there as well. All right, so a lot of this was like back from 2019, as you can see. Now, next, so this is just on Decrypt. So Robinhood CEO has said, we are going to offer a crypto wallet as fast as possible. So please understand, I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is just my personal choice as an investor, especially in crypto. We know that crypto wallets, digital wallets are becoming a thing. I have not, to my knowledge, at least any significant money. I don't think I've ever used Robinhood. I may have created an account and looked at the interface and looked at like XRP price, the price feed. But other than that, I've never used it. And I just believe any serious investor that uses large amounts of holdings with crypto should be very careful. holding a bunch of crypto on these types of websites. I always encourage, you can if you want, and I'm not saying anything bad, but just please read the terms and services, because we remember what happened with GameStop. This is not slander. I'm just saying please read the terms of service and decide for yourselves. But yeah, this is going to be good publicity as well, and just kind of sharing that. All right. And right here, guys, Flare Networks. So just a tweet, I wanted to read this and kind of just rant a little bit. So Flare works as a utility layer to all integrated chains, including the XRP ledger, because Flare can safely determine the state of an integrated chain when combined with smart contracts, thanks to, of course, Ethereum's EVM. These developers have many options to build advanced cross-chain as well as multi-chain functionality beyond the F assets. Now, I think the possibilities are absolutely limitless, and I just want everybody to keep their eyes. Do not lose sight of the horizon, because those of us that have XRP and those of us that have that first mover advantage that are actually going to try to provide liquidity and delegate and do all this in Flare Networks could potentially have the highest rewards, well, not potentially, will have the highest rewards in the beginning. And, the more people that give up on XRP, the less competition you have to be very profitable leveraging Flare Networks from the start. I'm still kind of halfway. I don't know if I want to. I've bought very few, nothing significant at all. I wish I bought some IOUs with Flare, but of course you're looking at Poloniex, you're looking at Bitrue. Does it go 10x from here? Does it crash 50%? I'm at a standstill, just like a lot of people. I think I've read some comments and people on Twitter just discussing, and I truly am just like, ugh, because obviously we all have claimed our Spark or Flare tokens. We're going to get that distributed, but it's a very small amount in the beginning, and it gets rolled out over the next few years. So yes, I'm excited, but I also have that sense of urgency and anxiety, like you guys. Like, what do I do to optimize my returns? So very interesting. All in all, though, us XRP holders, remember, we are getting the bulk of the Spark tokens compared to other communities. So this is very, very powerful. And passive income with these opportunities that lie ahead, and I know Mickey B. Fresh is an absolute genius, and follow him if you want to keep up to date with all the Flare Networks information. Remember, passive income, it's not free money that comes out of nowhere, and I was tweeting this. It's not a get-rich-quick gimmick, guys. This is about potentially getting rich very slowly, and it typically requires any type of passive income, whether it's real estate or whatever you do, or you build a business, whatever, and automate online sales. It typically requires tons of time and even work, or even both, up front, and then you can later enjoy those fruits of your labor. So I just want to kind of set expectations. Could it get very, very powerful? Could you make unbelievable returns on a daily basis for the first 6 months? Yes, absolutely. But we have to understand how lucky we are to even be here. We're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's relax. XRP is still under $1 in 2021. Some will complain and see that as a bad thing. I see that as a massive opportunity for us to accumulate even more. Some will lose faith. Some will go capitulate or chase other gains. And my advantage, like anyone else maybe that has the same mindset, is I am willing to outhold and outweight anybody. Now, of course, we're saying this and we're another day closer to the inevitable rise and hopefully regulatory clarity in the future. But personally, I don't think that we need that full clarity or even settlements in the months ahead. XRP can still move. It can still move despite the allegations. My point of view, though, is I'm not trading my long-term bags of XRP. I'm not looking to gamble it. I'm not looking to sell it and try to buy back lower. I've been in this space a little while. I know there's people and veterans in the space, but I didn't come this far to just come this far. I want to make my money work for me properly because I don't want to work for money. So hopefully you guys share that sentiment, just ranting a little bit. But overall, just what I was just thinking about lately, I see the sentiment on Twitter. I'm just going to rant a little bit and we'll call it a day. I love when people complain about having to create another exchange. Oh man, I have 3 exchanges. Well, there's people that have 30 exchanges and have different logins for each one. And if it's to, access another crypto, or you have to use Uniswap or 1inch or whatever you have to use to buy a different crypto, that barrier to entry is what gives you, ideally, that competitive edge. Now, yes, there's risk in everything, but you guys get what I'm saying. And I'm going to buy that asset before it does another 2x or 3x and be grateful for the opportunity. So just a mindset, just something that I've been thinking about, I guess. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys this today. So I got a good laugh. So I was talking to a buddy about a potential swing trade opportunity and just saying, yep, it's going to require a little patience. I know it's moving up, but ideally, this could be a several week hold. And he goes, oh, don't worry, I've held XRP for a few years. I know what patience is like. And I was chuckling because he is so right. Of course, diversification is smart. I'm personally diversified. It helped me get exposure into other assets. I've missed huge opportunities, but I've also been able to capture some good waves as well. But man, the XRP community overall, everybody, I know some people have been holding way before me. Some people are still relatively new, and that's all good and great. But I think that as dark as it has been in terms of waiting and keeping up with news every single day and watching the chart and just getting hit and punched in the face every single time, I think it is setting us up for some massive success in the eyes of an investor, because I swear, even 1 year, even 3 years in crypto, it feels like a decade in the stock market. And I know many people would attest to that because of all the volatility and because of all the news. It's like the dot-com bubble, but faster and just really snowballing. So I know a lot of VCs that I follow in this space, even that left and got into crypto, they say the same thing. They say this is fun. This is where the magic's happening. This is where the excitement is. And that's why I love this space. It's so fast moving. My head is spinning like an owl. And I know you guys are the same way. There's a lot of maniacs, but I think we're going to be massively successful maniacs. And whether or not, I know XRP is one of the most hated cryptos, which makes me more bullish on it and personally want it in my holdings because you guys understand why. And if you're in crypto, even if you hate XRP, you should honestly still be rooting for XRP to come out of this on top. You want it to get that regulatory clarity in the future, whether it takes months or years. And of course, some people would be mad at that statement. But the truth is, because it's going to affect the entire space. XRP is going to get beat up first, just like Jeremy Hogan has said, and then we are in the clear. And that is my personal belief as well. So a clear framework will potentially give many other assets the green light as well, once and for all. So if you want your other cryptos to explode in value or finally have no more glass ceiling holding them back, you should be rooting for XRP. You should be partaking in even John Deaton's tweets and everything, and just providing as much information as possible. We are so powerful as a community. I know I sound like just another cheerleader on YouTube, just like everybody. But, I genuinely think that this is going to be huge. And that is why I do videos, or I try to, every single day. So beyond excited, and just be happy we're here. We're not going to buy the perfect bottom. We're not going to sell the top perfectly, but we can take advantage of what happens in between and have exposure to this market before it is even, the global crypto market cap even surpasses that of a single company like Apple in terms of market capitalization. So future is bright. Stay strong, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.